I've played World of Warcraft for over 15 years. I've played Final Fantasy XIV for pretty much the entire last year, and MMORPGs for most of my adult life, but I've never played Guild Wars 2. It's a game that has completely slipped under my radar. Me and my friends were all playing World of Warcraft when this came out, and I never really heard much buzz around it. As we're in a quiet period in Final Fantasy, I've been trying out other MMOs. So now it's time to jump into Guild Wars 2 for the first time and see what it's all about. Join the dance. I mean, if you're unsure on whether to get the game, I mean, now you know. Now you know. Go get it. So I went into this completely blind. I really don't know much about the game or anything about the world or the story, or I'm going in really naive. I don't know what to expect. So the first thing you come across is the character creator. And the game seems to have 5 characters. You've got the big cat men people, the big boy humans, the small alien-looking creatures, the Azura, and then the tree people. I originally tried messing around on a human character, and I couldn't really get into it. I kept wanting to try the tree person, and I always go for more slender-looking characters. I never really take the big muscular guy. I normally go for like an elf or a cat boy or something like that. So the tree people, well, I can't remember what they're called, silvery, were really screaming at me, so I went for those, and I think they are so unique. And then there's a ton of classes you can pick from. I've got no idea like how specs or anything work, how talents work, but I love the look of Mesmer. Favorite color's purple, and they were giving me Doctor Strange vibes, so I became a purple magic tree man. And I think the character creator is clearly dated if you compare it to other like Eastern MMOs like Black Desert. It's not on that level, but it does have its charm. I really like how wild they got with the characters, like designing the tree characters. You could make the ends of the branches glow, you can make the colors of the body run up, so I've got like red leaves running up my body and stuff. Really unique. The hair's made of branches, and there's like unique hairstyles using those different tree patterns. You can have like sprouting flowers as ears. Just really unique stuff, and I've only made a couple of characters like to play with. I've not really explored all of them, so I've got no idea what the different ones do, but really cool, really unique. And then the character creator lets you pick like a starting weapon or starting item. So for the Mesmer, I got to pick a mask. I got to pick what type of mask I could use, and I've got no idea if this is story related or if this involves if this does anything later on. But I just went with the one I like the look of and had the coolest story. No idea. And then stuff I definitely think impacts the story, because I saw it quite early on, was you get to choose what type of character you are, and something about like why you're on this journey. I think it's really interesting, but again, I just went with like the coolest ones that I thought spoke to me as a person and the type of character that I want to play. So like one of the things I picked here was the stag, and that actually came up in like the first story quest, which was so cool. I don't know if it's I don't know if that happens in every single one, like everyone has this, or if it's just the tree people. I've no idea. And I've no idea how all the other things tie in, because I've not seen it. I've not seen the option to use these in dialogue, but the story one definitely happened. Okay, anyway, character made. Now to pick a good name. I'm going to be making this into a little mini-series of my playthrough along the way, and give you my thoughts of the game as we get through it. So if you want to see that, you know, click the subscribe button, and you can come back and see more when we get there. Okay, so you get in the game. One thing stood out instantly. One thing I love in games is completionism content. I think completionism content is so important in MMORPGs. Once you finish the story, or once you finish like the hard raids or something, what you're left with is the community and completionism stuff. So I think it's really important, and the map just speaks to me. It's very similar to Elder Scrolls Online. You kind of, as soon as we got out here, there was like a heart on the map, and you go over to it, and you were doing something to help a woman, and then everyone else comes over and helps out and does the same mission, and then an event spawned nearby. And it all just felt very smooth. It didn't feel as scripted. It just happened, and you go over and do it. It kind of like the fate system in Final Fantasy XIV, but because you have the hearts and everything's interlinked, it really feels natural. So like there's a small farm when you go over there, and there was like a pest problem, and you had to like help with the farm and fight the pests. But then an event happened where somebody was attacking the farm, so while you're doing that, you're still helping with the pest problem. So like you're farming, and then there's a villager getting attacked, and you go save the villager, and it just adds a bit of flavor and life to the world map. And then you zoom out on the map later on when you're somewhere else, and you look back at that farm, and you go, oh, I remember that. I remember what happened when we were there. They got attacked. I think it's really good, and I think they've done a very good job of how they blend them with the heart. So when you're doing a heart mission, I don't know if that's what they're called, but the heart missions, they add the events nearby and they tie them in. I think it's a really, really good idea. I think the same goes for like vistas and the hero point things. They just add pretty good variety. I'm terrible at the jump puzzles, and I feel like there's quite a lot of them in this game, like the vista jumps. So I definitely need to get better at that. But yeah, I wasn't paying attention to my level or my moves. I was just obsessed with trying to 100% the map. And I got that big dopamine hit when I did. I 100%ed it. It was like literally, I just went tunnel vision. I had like something on the second monitor, probably like music and a YouTube video, and I was just brain dead trying to 100% this map. I'm kind of intimidated by how big the map is and how many zones there are, but I guess the game's been out a while, so there is a lot of content. And I'm not sure if the map is account bound, but it's fun either way, and I'm looking forward to chipping away at it and, you know, getting it all unlocked. So yeah, map, big win for me. The next thing, combat. Early game combat in MMOs is generally dead. Like Final Fantasy's endgame content, 10 out of 10. Early game, dreadful. Probably the reason a lot of people don't stick with the game. Same said for WoW, because it's tab targeting. I played a lot of Black Desert recently. I'd say that's the opposite. Their combat is just flawless all the way through. Guild Wars 2, kind of dry to start with. Like most MMOs, starts out really dry. You have like one ability and a heal. And I found it really confusing how you have, like on the Mesmer, I had a two-handed sword, but I was attacking from a distance. And then if you take an axe, all your skills vanish and they're replaced with axe skills. And I didn't really understand, like, where's my class fantasy if I'm just having weapon skills? I really didn't get it at all. If all your skills are tied to weapons, are you even a Mesmer? And I didn't get it at first, but I've stuck with it up to like, you know, level 10. And it really started to pick up. It seemed like at level 10, you got the ability to swap between two weapons. And I kind of started to understand how they worked. So the Great Sword was like a big damaged ranged weapon. And then I had like a scepter and a gun, which was really good at spawning other gunmen. And it was really fast. And then I had a staff, and that did AoEs, like a big arcane storm and loads of like AoE abilities. And I'm slowly getting the hang of it. And I kind of get how the weapons work, but I really think it was a slow build to level 10, and then it opened up a hell of a lot. But yeah, I don't know if I'm making a mistake, if I should be using like one weapon all the way through or just picking up whatever I can find, but I'm just trying to take whatever's strongest and have fun with it right now. And yeah, I really don't know what I'm doing though. Okay, so yeah, level 10. Level 10. This is where everything expanded. It felt like, you know, the tutorial is over, the training wheels are off, and the game just shows you a lot more of itself. And this is where I started to see like the class fantasy. But boy, was it confusing. My understanding, and please let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, is the skills you invest in with your hero points is like permanent. So they're like they're like my Mesmer skills. So I will always be able to summon 2 clones with that one skill I've got, and then I'll always be able to make a shield with that skill I've got. But then as I switch weapons, they change. So you've got the ones on the right side, which are like permanent, and then the left ones adapt to your weapon. I think that's how it goes, and that's where you get your class fantasy from, mixing the two up. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I've got into like destruction because it seemed like high damage, and then I put some into illusion, I think, and I got like a portal which we're playing around with, which was really, really fun. We were making like portals up to the vistas. So like there'd be a vista, I'd run up, get it, make a portal down to the bottom, and someone else could jump up and get it. I thought that was really, really cool. I love how there's talents in the game. My 2 main MMOs that I spent the most time in are Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft. I love Final Fantasy XIV. It is my main MMORPG, but coming from WoW, I've always missed the talents. Like in that game, if you're a paladin, you're a big tanky boy, end of. Whereas here, it's a lot more like World of Warcraft, where you can spec and develop your character based on your playstyle. You want to be someone who just has tons of illusions running around and focus on that, you can go down that path. You want to be someone who just goes nuts to the wall damage, you do that. And then you can mix it up. You can make an AoE build, what's the word? Single target build, you know. I'm assuming there's like PvP builds, but I like that. I like that a hell of a lot. It instantly makes me want to try all the different characters, all the different classes, see the different builds. I think it's great, and I love that in MMOs. Of course, it has its problems. You know, customization always does have problems. Coming from World of Warcraft, balance was a huge issue, because if you've got thousands of different combinations, it's like having thousands of different classes to balance. Whereas in Final Fantasy, you only have the core classes. It's much easier to balance. And there'll always be a meta, one set of skills that are best in certain circumstances. But either way, I love it. And as a new player, I'm having so much fun. Yeah, I literally, I'm recording this video and I'm just thinking I want to go back in and get more points and start unlocking the different skills and try them out. But yeah, we've got to make the video first. Okay, story. Level 10, you get the main story. I won't say the story is the most engaging and gripping thing I've ever played. I've played some really good stories in MMOs, but it's unique. And one thing that really stands out that you don't see is your character has a voice. Like, this is so rare in MMORPGs. Gavin, I don't think I've read much, or if any, of the main story. Everyone's just talking to me, including my own character, which completely blew my mind. In World of Warcraft, your character's mute. In Final Fantasy XIV, they just nod. But you have fully voiced character lines in this game. When I heard my character, I was streaming it live. I'll link my Twitch down below if anyone wants to come hang out. And I just freaked out because I was so surprised. It's just so refreshing. The story itself just feels refreshing. It's not too deep. There's no reading. And you can just sit back and enjoy it. It's just chill. It's just a very enjoyable, refreshing experience. It's interesting enough to keep you entertained. And it's just got some really cool features to it. So two really cool things I liked was, I think I mentioned it already, the thing at the start of the game, the option you pick ties in. So I chose that I followed a white stag. And then when you get here, the story starts you off with, there's a white stag out in the wild and we got to go find it. And I was like, oh, I picked that. That's cool. And I don't know if that ties in with all the different races that all ties into the main story. And I don't know if it happens later on in the game. I'd love to know what the story's like late game. I'd love to know how it holds out. But I thought it was a really good start. It kind of gets you invested straight away. I think it's really cool. Another cool thing is, if you're in a party, your players can join you in your main story, which is crazy. And if they're on the same quest, they get to progress as well, which you don't see very often. You really don't see that very often. Like I say, refreshing, different, and just a pain-free experience. The story itself was pretty cool. As tree people, you're born in a place called the Dream, I think, and then there's a bunch of goobers called the Nightmare Court. They're our bad guys, you know, because nightmares are bad and dreams are good. Like I say, pretty straightforward, pretty fun, lighthearted. It was great. And then you see a vision of a stag and you go out and find it, save it from the Nightmare Court. Just a genuinely enjoyable experience. Sit back, watch some voiced cutscenes, fight some monsters, and get a chunk of experience for it. And then you finish it, and that's it. There's no more story till level 20, so you just go back out into the world. It doesn't throw too much at you. I genuinely think they've paced it really well. Well, like I say, I'm only level 10. I've got a ton of story to go, and I'd love to know what you guys think of the story. And I think that's pretty much everything I've done on my first day. So, first day. Well, how was it? How was the first day in Guild Wars 2? I actually really enjoyed it more than I expected. My first impressions of the art style and the visuals and the combat made me think, oh, I can feel I'm playing an old MMO. I can feel this is old. It feels old. Feels dated. But then at the end of the day, as I'm looking around, I'm appreciating the graphics. I'm appreciating the fluidness of the rolls and the combat and the darting around. And it doesn't feel old anymore. It feels really good. I really like it. It feels different to any other MMORPG. The combat's picking up. I'm excited to get my hands on the specs and the talent points. And I'm looking forward to going out and getting more and deciding where to spend them first. The story's pretty slow but interesting. I'm really excited to get to the level 20 and see where it goes from there. But yeah, first impressions are great. I can't wait to play some more. As soon as this video ends, I'm probably going to load back in and go to the next zone and start chirping away and getting more of those vistas and hearts and getting ready to get to 20 and do the next story mission. If there's anything that you think we should do next, any tips or things to try. I've heard there'll be a bunch of jump puzzles, hidden jump puzzles that I definitely need to try. I really want to see what PvP is all about. I don't know if you can go in there at a low level. Dies and stuff as well. But yeah, there's so much. Let me know if there's something you think we should check out at an early level or something that you see me do wrong. Any tips are appreciated in the comments. And if you want to see more of this and you want to see this continue into a little mini series as we get through the game and maybe get to the first expansion and stuff, let me know in the comments if you're enjoying it. and subscribe to the channel to be here when the next video comes out, because I'm sure it won't be long. But thank you, everybody. I hope you have a good day. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.